Hello, Akshay.
Hi,
Acha.
good evening.
Uh, Good evening. And today we're going to discuss the Elon Musk biography, which you're a big fan of, I believe.
Yep.
Okay. Let's just start with you telling us a little bit about yourself, Akshay. People, he has been on a Campfire episode before, a very memorable episode where he spoke of his experiences on Shark Tank. But just give us a little intro, Akshay.
Sure. So I am a non-techie into tech. Okay, I started my life by trying to become a chartered accountant, but I failed so many times that my dad, who was a CA, was embarrassed, and he said, "Better you do this." So tech happened to me by chance or by luck, but I'm so happy I'm into this. So I started up two companies, one or both of them which I run.
Okay.
I've not aborted any. I am not this new age guy who likes to keep on doing serial entrepreneurship. I'm more the Dhirubhai money guy who would like to list the company. So I am
Okay.
co-founder of two companies. One is iWebTechno, and a new recent one we found Gen Z Deals. Right. So I'm a tech guy into education, unlike Byju's, not burning money. And
Ouch.
we believe we should be profitable from the beginning. So thoda old school thought process, but yeah, we are happy to grow slow. So
All
that's what
right.
I do. And in the process fell in love with Elon Musk. So the story is like, when I grew up, my dad was a big fan of Dhirubhai Ambani, and we've
Okay.
read so many books about him when I was growing up. So I'm quite old. I turned 43 3 days back. So we read a lot of books on Dhirubhai Ambani, that he was a very big risk taker and he went against everybody, including the government, the people. But he wanted something, like he wanted to do something big, something global, and we've seen that in his books and the film Guru. Also, if you see, you can see he's larger than life, right?
Okay.
So there was an okay, yaar, Dhirubhai was something which we are not seeing happening in India in that big scale. Now
Mm-hmm.
Elon comes out of the blue, and I personally feel he's doing something similar what maybe Dhirubhai Ambani did at his own time, right? So
Okay.
एक ओ है कि यार ये कुछ अलग कर रहा है, आउट ऑफ द ब्लू है, builds in public, doesn't fear admitting his wrongdoings, or he's like a very open guy. At least that's what we feel or we see
It
when
does
we
come
read.
across that way. Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
It does come across that way, right? So you know when you like, or when you have grown up seeing a Sachin Tendulkar, and then when you have somebody like a Sachin Tendulkar in your day-to-day life, you will of course
Mm-hmm.
fall for him, or you like what he's doing. So that's more about it. That what I like is he's too candid. Okay, he's upfront. Okay, he can even say dick on screen, which is like a big taboo everywhere. So एक वो है कि ये करना है, ये बनना है, बट ये करने के लिए you need a lot of guts, and if somebody gutsy is around you, it's like a big fan following. So that is one of my reasons for me to follow him from the beginning.
Okay.
I follow him from way back. It's not just because of this Twitter or Tesla or something like that. I've been reading and I've been following him from long. And so yeah, of course. So before this, there was one more biography which very few people know, but there was another biography on Elon which had come in 2015, 16 by Ashley. I forgot her full name.
Ashley
That was
Vance.
also Ashley Vance, yeah, and that was also quite raw. And I feel that people started knowing him post reading that. So people who are following Elon will have a lot of learnings from the first biography, and the second one is like icing on the top. You already know what he had done or what he has done, but now this is a refresher. It has much more, from his personal life or from his past history, or maybe he also opened up much more to the current biographer in that
Okay.
sense.
I believe the current biographer, who's Isaacson, if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken,
Yep.
followed him around for 2 years
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
had full access to whatever Elon was doing. Now, I'm going to tell you where I'm coming from. I've not read the biography. In fact, I'm
Okay.
dying to hear stuff about it from you.
Yep.
I have a completely different view of Elon because I'm on Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay. And he has run Twitter into the ground, according to us.
Okay.
Okay. I will hear your views on that shortly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Twitter just looks like, firstly, it was a very, very, I don't know, immature decision to buy the site and then there's
Do mad
literally
things what he does.
yes, there is literally a new stupid rule every day. Okay. And we
Yeah.
will discuss that. We'll come to it.
Sure. Sure.
Okay. Now, let's begin at the beginning. What I from the reviews I can see that oh sorry, wait, we have already have a comment. Not Twitter, the big X. Yes, he
Absolutely.
destroyed a brand to put X on it. Okay, we
So
will
I'll
discuss this.
yeah, yeah. I'll have what I've read, I'll tell you, but then
Wait,
I
wait,
don't
wait,
know.
wait, wait. We come to Twitter at the end because then I'll
Yeah.
I'll be warmed up by then. Okay. Uh,
I'm already read.
no, okay. Let's address what the beginning of the book is, where he says that he made it from scratch. Okay, that he came from humble beginnings and he became one of the richest men in the world. But then we also hear stories about an emerald mine and his dad having money. So you tell me, what are the beginnings of Elon Musk?
So, see, there are two stories to this or two sides to this. Some people feel he was very rich, okay, and that's where he had, he had a rich dad who helped him, and he did a lot of things because of his dad's, connects or money or whatever. But if you read the book, and I can vouch for this because both the biographers have said that he had very mediocre beginning. Okay, he had a abusive childhood. So till 17
That
years
I
he was in South
that I
Africa.
believe. Yes.
Yeah, till 17 years he stayed in South Africa. He was beaten black and blue every second day. Okay, honestly, what we read, we understand the fear because that's how it is come in the book. That he was not sure will he be alive the next day. Every day bullied in school. Okay, not having proper access to
One second. One second. One second.
medication. Food.
Okay. Why was he bullied so much? Because it couldn't be because he was white in South Africa. Why was he bullied?
No, that was one of the reason. But in the school where he was, that's what he's written in the biography. His elder brother was also in the same school, and that's how South Africa was, say 40 years, 50 years back, where you fight at the drop of a hat and people come and kill you. And he has given those sightings also that he saw a guy being killed in front of him. He and his brother hid behind a corner, a classroom, and then they went back home. They saw death every second day. They were not sure will they be alive. After being bullied or hit, he says his nose was broken every third day. Okay, and that's how he grew up. That's what comes out from both the biographers, that it was a very deep, dark world, mafia kind of a world, and so it was like a government school, right? So his dad couldn't afford to put them in a very good elite or a proper private school, right? So his initial schooling was that bad, and that's what, even if once you read the biography, his internal relationship with his parents, with his siblings, with his so many wives, okay, it comes out, yeah, like he's very, you can say he lacks empathy in that way. That's
He
what comes out
does.
very strongly from the book. But everybody says he's wired in that sense because he came from such a background where it was a street brawl every second day, right? So
And he's also supposed to have Asperger's, I think, Asperger's syndrome, and
yeah, yeah,
he's bipolar.
yes, yeah, yeah. He's bipolar. That everybody, including his colleagues, his co-founders, and even the wife, both the wives who have come on record in the book have said, right, that yes, he's bipolar at times, and not bipolar. What people say is, see, he is like an introvert to the outside world, but once he opens up, he opens up. So he can go to a party and be the last guy man standing till the next day morning, right?
Okay.
But he won't know how to start a conversation. So he will start with missiles and he will start with rockets. That's how he is, right? So he doesn't know how to start the conversation. That's what his second wife has also written, that how they hit out, and in 3 days he proposed to her very soon, like in a week. And he was just out of the first relationship. Like he had a divorce today and proposed to the girl in 2 days. So that was, people will say that is maddening or eccentric or foolishness, or maybe he was a
Narcissistic,
playboy.
maybe. Yeah.
Totally, totally. So that's what the girl's dad Googled and said, he's lying, he's a playboy because he has 5 children and a wife, he just used you. But then eventually the friend said, no, he's already out and he's got a divorce recently. So, मतलब बहुत बहुत दो type of thought है, very similar, like you said, very bipolar. But I don't know, maybe geniuses are like that. That can also be a thought process. I don't know. Maybe he's a mad guy, mad genius or whatever.
But tell
But
me
yeah,
one thing.
yeah.
Is he a genius or is he a good marketing or like a good, I don't know, corporate
So
guy?
I don't know. See, whatever I have read about him, because I have been following him even before he became famous, because somehow I don't know, I liked what he did, and see, he had the risk to even risk the worst of things. Like Dhirubhai came up, he gave up his everything when he listed. Right? If you read the Dhirubhai story, he was not getting money from anybody, and he went against the government by saying, "I'll list on the public and I'll raise money from the public," which was history in the making for India. Right? If you
Yeah.
read Elon's background, or if you follow him, he's done something similar. When the third missile broke, or it went thup, okay, he had no money, he was bankrupt, right? So he borrowed from friends, relatives, but he had the guts to say, I have the ammunition lying in a factory at Los Angeles. Let's build the fourth missile, right? So देखो वो पागल है या इसेंट्रिक या मैड है जो भी बोलो, he has tremendous guts. Okay,
Got it.
that goes without saying. Even buying Twitter, if we both, it's stupid. It was a stupid decision, right?
Yeah.
But he had the guts. Like he said, no, I want to make amend. I feel this is right, okay, and my gut says this is right. So I'll go against everybody, be it the government, be it the people, be it my own self, and I'm ready to be destroyed tomorrow. And he just quoted those things. Like, going forward, I'll even mention those 2 3 quotes which I'm not able to memorize, but I've written down because वो थोड़ा बहुत deep है. But that's what he keeps on quoting, that it's better to be pessimist. No, it's worse to be a pessimist and lose rather than be an optimist and lose. I wanted to
Nice.
do this, okay, and I lost it. That's fine. But वो pessimism में क्यों जिंदा रहना, you know? So I don't know. People say he's a marketing guru and he plays around this, but trust me, the risk what he's taking, he can be killed tomorrow, right? So matlab he goes against everybody. Yes, just yesterday he tweeted that FBI needs an overhaul. I have just tweeted on that India में कोई CBI के बारे में the best of guys can't write. I also forget I am a very small guy here. A big guy, a big industrialist also can't write this in India, right? He has the balls to go and write this. He has just tweeted on this yesterday that we need an FBI overall. No, that's a madcap or too gutsy, or I don't know. He doesn't care. So that's what he's written in his book.
Okay.
When his second wife asked him that what can go wrong, he said, "We can die tomorrow. I can die tomorrow. You can die tomorrow. That's what can go wrong, right?" So, I don't know. I don't know.
All right. All right. Let's start from the beginning. Like, how did I think Paytm was involved somewhere in his
Paytm
beginnings?
with Elon?
Was it? Yeah, or Pay
No. PayPal. Okay.
PayPal. I'm so sorry.
You are making Vijay Shekhar, like Vijay Shekhar will be dancing if he's hearing this. Oh, I'm with Elon. But he's India's Elon. That we'll have another session on that. I have high regards for him. So absolutely.
Okay.
भले जो भी किया वो बहुत difficult था. It's tough to do. So yeah, he started with PayPal. So he started with Zip2. His first company was Zip2, right?
Okay.
So it was like a company for a platform where you could go, something similar to Dunzo and all, where you could zip things across city, and that's how he started. See, he's an eccentric guy, right? He's a madcap, so he was thrown out. Eventually, it got sold. He made his million. I think his first million came from there. And then eventually, Peter Thiel and other guys started taking note of him in the valley, and that's how PayPal came into picture. He was even thrown out of PayPal,
He's
right?
thrown out of PayPal.
Yeah, thrown out
Isn't
of PayPal. So
why?
he grins and says that if I was in PayPal, I would have made it $1 trillion company. But I'm happy I was thrown out of PayPal, so I could build or think about rockets and Tesla and stuff
One
like
second.
that.
One second. One second. I have a question.
Yep.
Wasn't it his company, PayPal, or was he just a partner,
So he
or how
was a
was it?
co-founder. Okay, there were tech guys who came together to build PayPal. He was one of the techies in that to form PayPal, but it's not his company. There were two competing companies. Okay, his company was X.com that time. Okay, so X नया नहीं है, उसका ही है. PayPal was a
Okay.
competitor. Both of them decided rather than competing each other and cutting our throats, let's merge. Let's come together, then we can grow together. Plus, VCs एक बार पैसा डालेंगे तो आपको निचोड़ लेंगे. So there were two investing bodies who wanted them to merge so that they can grow together and become big. So eventually, PayPal and X merged. He has mentioned that in his biography that when he met first, PayPal was actually bigger than X. Okay,
Okay.
but he's a master genius marketing guy, so he convinced everybody that we'll merge and we'll give you 10% of a company while we get 90% of PayPal. उसका audacity ये level का था when he was
Okay.
pygmy. Okay. Eventually, Peter Thiel and all from PayPal were very smart, so they did a 50-50 merger eventually, right? And he came on the board first as a CTO, then he eventually became a CEO, and then that was a coup that people know that. So he's afraid of honeymoons and going. He took 2 holidays, and he was ousted from both the companies when he went on holidays. The second was a honeymoon. So when he landed, he came to know he's thrown out of the board and as a CEO.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so
That
now he
that is
says
that
I'm
is
going to
awful.
holidays.
So
Yeah.
he takes
So
no
he's
holidays now.
no holidays now. Official holidays तो लूंगा ही नहीं. बच्चे को लेके घूमूंगा हर जगह.
But I tell you one thing. Yeah, is it? I mean, to out someone on holidays allowed or what? Like if they're not there to, I don't know.
So
Is it
see, he
legal?
was a minority shareholder. So yeah, like when I started up, I don't want to bring that here, but my dad had formed a company and we were also ousted like that because he was a minority shareholder in that company. Yeah. So you can,
Overnight.
yeah, overnight. by,
Ouch.
the majority shareholders can tell you fuck off.
Oh
That can
God,
happen.
that is
Yeah,
really
yeah.
okay.
Can happen in India too, so beware.
Okay. So now this is Elon Musk. He has been ousted from a second company, and then he got into SpaceX, or
Yeah, so he had ideas, he had his money. In spite of him being ousted, he had a lot. So personally, he had the maximum shareholding of that company. Although
okay,
he was a minority shareholder, as an individual, he had big monies. Okay, so even if you oust him, you have to pay him, right? That happens
okay,
everywhere. So
huh.
eventually, he made millions when he was even ousted from PayPal. And see, in the valley, he was a known guy. People knew who was Elon Musk, what he did. Okay, and he has his money. So then he had the money and he wanted to do something. So then comes SpaceX and then comes Tesla, right? There were two streams he was thinking along. And from his childhood, see, if you read, he used to build rockets even when he was a kid. Okay, so
Okay,
he had that vision. मल्टी प्लैनेटरी पता नहीं उसको कैसे आता था, बट वो बचपन से सोचता था कि वी शुड नॉट जस्ट स्टे ऑन दी अर्थ, वी शुड गो मल्टी प्लैनेटरी. ये इसका
okay,
बचपन से थॉट प्रोसेस था. So he had nothing to do. He knew if I go somewhere and try to, start something, I won't get a co-founder because everybody, see, he was very similar to Steve Jobs. तो वो
okay.
चुटकियां काट देता था सबका. वो डिजाइनर को मुंह पे बोल देता, you are a dumb guy. So that's what he's bipolar, no empathy, will fuck anybody's happiness any minute. Okay, and वो टीम में काम नहीं कर सकता था. वेरी सिमिलर टू स्टीव जॉब्स. मे बी जीनियस गाइज
Okay.
आर लाइक दिस, आई डोंट नो. आई डोंट लाइक दैट. मतलब आई एम अ टीम गाय. मैं गाली भी दूंगा तो आई विल बी अ धीरूभाई अंबानी गाय हु विल हैव एन आर्म अराउंड द शोल्डर सेइंग यार ठीक है यार, वी आर टुगेदर, लेट्स बिल्ड दिस. वो ऐसा बंदा नहीं है. ही विल फायर द गाय, ही विल से गेट लॉस्ट, आई विल डू ऑन माय ओन. बट एक है वो हैंड्स ऑन बंदा है, उसको तुम उल्लू नहीं बना सकते. यू कांट फूल एलॉन. और वो उसका उसने एग्जांपल्स दिया है. ओके, तो रॉकेट में भी उसने जो रॉकेटरी करा है बड़ा जुगाड़ है.
Yeah,
Okay, he,
like
yeah, yeah.
what?
So he first tried. See, he didn't know rocket science. He is a IT guy. He left so many degrees. Stanford guy, never studied rocketry in that way. He's not a rocket scientist. He's an IT guy. He's a developer, coder, hands-on. He is a tech guy, right? Now, when he decides to enter into this business, this is highly regulated. वो सिर्फ NASA है जो वहाँ पे जिंदा है. There is no private companies doing something on rockets, right? So he had to absorb that. So he's given so many examples when he goes to parties post being ousted from PayPal, and he is reading some old manual on how to build rockets and all.
Okay,
So he goes very deep. Okay. And he understood from experts that you can't get a license to make a rocket, you have to buy a rocket. So he went to Russia. उसका भी बहुत सारा chapters है where he tried to buy a second hand rocket और जिसमें वो बहुत चूतिया बना, millions of dollars मांगे. तो he said यार I can't afford, एक रॉकेट आएगा तो मेरा सब पैसा घुस जाएगा. तो he decided that I'll build a rocket on my own, and he has given examples where to change a small valve, people said इसका 500,000 लगेगा, and he was a tech guy. तो he said यार ये तो $50,000 में बन जाएगा. and he built that valve in house. तो बहुत जुगाड़ करा है. एक और
okay.
एक
That takes
एग्जांपल दिया
guts.
उसने, एकदम एकदम गट्स, टोटली गट्स. एक एग्जांपल दिया है कि वो सेकंड रॉकेट जब फेल हुआ था फैल्कन 2, तो बॉयलर ही वांटेड टू रीयूज, तो दे वर ऑल लाफिंग द साइंटिस्ट एंड ऑल, यू कांट रीयूज, यू हैव टू गेट अ न्यू वन, ये नहीं उड़ेगा. तो बोलता है कुछ नहीं, ऊपर जा, ठोक इसको, वेल्डिंग कर, इसको ही रीयूज करेंगे. टोटली जुगाड़ू था. एंड दैट
That really
वर्क.
takes guts. Okay, I'll tell you why. So I have launched a rocket, okay, a small one, 1 foot rocket.
वाओ,
We made the fuel out of sugar and
माय गॉड, यू आर
fertilizer.
एलोनी.
No, no,
वाओ.
no, I'm not. I was just part of a rocket launching club. But the entire amount of things that can explode in the
या
end. I mean, if you're taking a risk with a boiler and whatever, and you're putting it together and putting
या
up like massive amounts of fuel, you are really brave.
या एब्सोल्युटली. तो व्हेन यू रीड ऑल ऑफ दिस, यू अंडरस्टैंड कि ठीक है, मार्केटर बोलो जो भी बोलो, दम तो है बंदे में.
Yeah.
मतलब हाइट्स, गट्स आर बियॉन्ड दिस वर्ल्ड.
There's a very nice quotation that he has used. Just let me find it 1 second. Where he talks about reusable rockets because that was his main push that he wanted to reuse
Yep,
rockets.
yep.
Do you have the quotation with you?
I don't have the quotation, but what is mentioned in the book is he still reuses. If you see his current launches also,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Starlink 2, he is reusing the launch pad, वो वापस अर्थ पे आ जाता है, वही वो reuse करता है. And he is very mindful. If you look at his entire journey, even if he have millions in the bank, वो बहुत चिंदी है. Okay,
No,
he
no.
will not let you spend or overspend. एक
Huh,
example इसमें दिया है, when the second rocket or boiler exploded, it was
huh.
31st, and he had got some very costly attire to go to a party, and he had this very costly shoes which he had worn. And the scientists and the other co-founders said, we can't reuse this, we need a new one, and itna millions of dollars लगेगा. उसने बोला कुछ नहीं बॉस, रुको. He took his jet, he took that boiler with him in that jet, landed to the factory, बोला ये boiler लगाओ, इसको हम glue से चिपकाएंगे. और वो ग्लू ने उसका कपड़ा शूज सब बर्बाद कर दिया. पूरा 31st नाइट वो जाके चिपकाया, नेक्स्ट डे ट्राई किया, फेल गया. वो बोला ठीक है, बट हम इसको ग्लू से चिपकाएंगे. सो ही हैज
Okay.
गिवन सच एग्जांपल्स लाइक, मतलब रोंगटे खड़े हो जाएंगे इफ यू हैव बीन इन दैट स्पेस, यू नो. Being an entrepreneur, every penny counts. You are saving your own money, because longevity, he knows millions है, but वो तो उड़ जाएगा दो रॉकेट उड़ा के, you know. तो that is like push, big thing, big thing. So
Now, he says that a fully reusable rocket is the difference between being a single planet civilization and being a multi planet one. And he
okay.
maniacally repeats this message to his staff at SpaceX. And that is actually a brilliant message. You can't think of space travel if you keep just one time use and throw. You can't.
Absolutely. You can't. And he keeps on saying one more thing, like building a company is like baking a cake. You need to have all your ingredients in the right proportion. कहीं भी आगे पीछे हो गया ना, तो cake is bad, or you have to feed it to the pigs. He keeps on harping that always. Yeah. So he says it's not just me. Everybody has to come together. Another thing he keeps on saying, so see, he was a proper tech guy, you know, and see, he was not an MBA guy who will say, okay, CEO's office, CFO's office. ऐसा बंदा उस नहीं है, अभी भी नहीं है, बहुत hands on है. You can see in Twitter, once he took over the code. He opened up the code on GitHub. People can download even a Twitter code today and copy it and make a second copy out of it and start competing with, right? He's building in public. He goes through the lines of code, तो बहुत hands on है. उसने और एक comment डाला है उसने book में. He keeps on saying that path to the CEO's office cannot be through CFO. It has to be,
Very
cannot be
cool.
through marketing. It has to be through engineering and design, right?
Very cool.
बहुत हार्डकोर बंदा है. ओके. एंड कैन यू बिलीव, लाइक इमेजिन वो ट्विटर को एक्स कर दिया, अलग स्टोरी है, बट a company with 2000 people is running with 200 people. Mind boggling. And there is no downtime. So we are all techies. I know to run my servers how many people I need today on the cloud, what all vigilance I need. It's not easy. He's running a big platform, and when you ask him what's Twitter or what's X, he'll say it's a large chatting platform where people come together in a group and chat. That's what I do. So he breaks down things into very simple to understand things, and he says that's how I run, right? तो क्या है, हम क्या उखाड़ रहे हैं, चैटिंग का प्लेटफॉर्म है, चैट कर रहे हैं लोग ग्रुप पे, राइट? तो उसके लिए 2000 लोग क्यों चाहिए, 200 लोग मैनेज करेंगे. एंड ही गिव्स एन एग्जांपल. ही सेज टू बिल्ड अ रॉकेट, okay, or to build my automatic running cars at Tesla, I have a team of 100 people. That's it. So Tesla is run by 100 guys who even manage SOS calls. एक चैटिंग प्लेटफॉर्म को जो पब्लिक पे चला रहा है, उसके लिए तुमको 2000 लोग क्यों चाहिए? तो ही इज वेरी ग्रैन्युलर एट दैट. वो बहुत कॉमन सेंस से कंपनीज चला था. ही इज नॉट दैट सिलिकॉन वैली फैड के ओके यू नीड दिस डेजिग्नेशन, यू नीड अ पीएस, यू नीड अ पीए, यू नीड दिस हायरार्की, कॉर्पोरेट. नो. And I like that way. And that's why I say Vijay Shekhar, he works in the same way. Very hands on, sits outside, koi cubicle nahi. You know, I feel Gen Z is this, you know, Gen Z doesn't care about boundaries or, you know, affluence or knowledge or, you know, the Gen Zs we work with also, we've seen, they don't care about that. Okay,
Yeah, they don't.
minimalistic bhi hoga, ek juta, ek shoes, you know, they talk about output, they talk about impact. And at 52, Elon is like, you know, talks about impact, that what's the impact I'm creating. And I buy that story. I
Okay.
honestly buy this story.
No, I agree with you on one thing. When he was firing Twitter staff left, right, center, and Twitter had predicted that Twitter will shut down in by the
Yeah,
next weekend
yeah,
because
yeah.
there is no way you can run a company with so few people. But
Precisely.
he did it. He
And
did it.
it has grown. 25% traffic day on day is additional than, you know, a year back. So he took over Twitter, I
That I
believe, on
don't know.
20.
No, that I
No,
don't know because
I
those
don't know.
statistics say that there have been a significant drop in traffic and more importantly in advertiser revenue.
So let it be. See, he is monetizing in two ways. He's charging people like you and me who want that blue tick. He's earning there, right?
I'm not paying for it. You
You are
pay
not
for
paying.
it.
I'm
Huh.
so no. I pay to due to two reasons. One, you really get good traffic. Bot stop. पहले हर सुबह तुमको 10 बॉट आ गए होंगे आपके डीएम पे, चूतियापा काटने के लिए, वेब 3 बेचने के लिए, क्रिप्टो के सब बकवास मैसेजेस. दैट हैज स्टॉप. वन. Second, you get decent news. So now there is a creator community. You get real good news. And see, that's his story. What he says, build in public. You don't need paid journalists. You yourself can become a journalist by putting out a real story which you see. And I buy that. Matlab, I
No,
don't
no,
know.
no, 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 no,
I
no,
don't
no,
know.
no.
Post
Earlier
COVID,
when we
trust
got our
me.
news, all
Post
earlier
Okay, go
earlier
ahead.
when we got our news, okay, the blue tick told me that I could trust the source of news. Now the firstly, blue tick means squat. Okay, let's agree
No,
with that.
let it be
It means
squat. But
someone.
okay, if you fool, okay, if I lie, if I say today I have raised 100 million, okay, मैं चूतिया बना रहा suppose ट्विटर पे, राइट? मैं बोलेगा I have raised 100 million, तो कोई तो ऐसा शाना होगा बोलेगा अच्छा कौन वीसी था किसने 100 million डाले बता, and you are exposed in 2 minutes. But if I bribe a journo today or if I know a news agency, वो आके चूतिया बना सकता है इसने 100 million raise कर लिया ये वीसी
Of
है, right?
course, there is loopholes everywhere, but still,
Yeah.
that whole value of natural verification or organic verification that this person is who they say they are, and I can trust this news source has gone.
No, agreed.
Tweet.
Okay, it's gone. But you can't fool beyond a point. Okay, like आज ही एक ट्वीट था, एक एस्ट्रोलॉजर ने ट्वीट करा था, इंडिया रोहित शर्मा स्टार्स आर नॉट दैट ग्रेट एज MS धोनी, तो वी वोंट विन द वर्ल्ड कप. ओके, उसने बोला और बोला मैंने इतना सही प्रेडिक्शंस किया है. तो सब दूसरे चढ़ गए एस्ट्रोलॉजी उस पे कि नहीं उसका शनि ठीक है, रवि ठीक है, सोम ठीक है, मंगल ठीक है, जुपिटर ठीक है, ही इज एक्सपर्ट. तो दैट्स व्हाट आई एम सेइंग. इसमें ना तुम काट नहीं सकोगे. द ट्रूथ विल कम आउट एंड देन इट्स अप टू यू एज अ रीडर यू बिलीव. तो मैंने भी थोड़ा ठोक डाला उसमें. मैंने बोला हार्दिक पांड्या तो तुला राशि है, तुला राशि के लिए बहुत अच्छा है. तो एक रोहित शर्मा तो वर्ल्ड कप नहीं जीतेगा ना, 15 लोग हैं तो सबके ग्रह मिलेंगे, इंडिया के ग्रह देखो. और वो एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग डिस्कशन हो गया. हम भी थोड़ा हॉरोस्कोप के बारे में सीख गए कि भाई ऐसे भी होता है, ठीक है तुला के लिए. तुला हूं तो मैं बोलने लगा टीम को भाई अभी अपना टाइम आ गया है. सो so this is it, like you can't fool around when it's totally in the public. And even if you do that now, there will be both sides of the coin. Then it's on the reader to decide what you go with, which story you go with, right? He himself
Okay.
has tweeted yesterday that if somebody tells you this is right, you ask yourself, read, and you take your decision is right or wrong. So he is totally atheist. If you read the book also, biography, totally atheist from the beginning. When he was sent to church when during his school days, his mommy was very much church wali, and he was sent to the church. वो वहां से भाग के आ जाता था. जीसस को भी क्वेश्चन किया, बहुत मार भी पड़ी हो जो बच्चा था. तो अगर ये सब सही है, if these biographers are true to the cause, at the age of 8 and all, he used to question everything, including religion, including people, including the world. And if that is what he is, then I think he deserves to be where he is. If इसमें भी कुछ, like you said, the marketing element is coming into picture, like Isaacson is writing because now he is Elon Musk, and Isaacson को एक second lease of life मिल गया after writing about him. I don't know, boss.
No, but Isaacson actually went and did something which was not very good for him. He went and spilled the beans on Twitter that during the Ukraine was going to launch a drone attack on Russia, and Elon got to know of it and shut off the Starlink network.
Yeah. Yes. So he had his own reasons because he says I can't support a war and all, whatever. See, that's his personal choice. Okay. It's not we are married to him. But yes, what he is doing, I believe all entrepreneurs should be this open. I am not saying you go and expose your personal life the way he does. वो 10 बच्चे कर लो and all. I don't buy to all of that. हाँ मतलब his wife has also written ना, the first wife has said that the way he left me was, he said this is how I am. I am willing to continue in this marriage if you are willing to continue this way, which is totally, I believe that's not the way it is. It has to be both side mutual, otherwise fuck off. And she told him fuck off and she left him. That's how the story
Yeah.
goes, right? So that was very bold and that was too much coercive of him to say my way or highway. That doesn't how a relationship should work.
That is how he is. That is how he
That's
is.
how he is. Yeah, absolutely. That's how it is.
But
Totally.
but apparently he has this philosophy that smart people should have kids, which is why
Yeah.
he's had twins with an
Yeah.
employee of SpaceX. He
Yes.
told her, "I
Absolutely.
will be your sperm donor."
Yep.
While
Yep.
he was still having a baby with another woman, I think that
Correct.
was Grimes. They were having their
Correct.
second baby. Ha!
Absolutely.
So all of that is not very
I don't
exciting.
know. So वो मार्स में टीम भेजने वाला है बच्चों का. I don't know what is his thought process.
What?
हाँ मतलब I don't know. He says the population will be finished because कुछ that's how the history of universe is, that there is some like we might get an attack, or there might be something falling on the earth, or everybody can die on Earth in a jiffy. And if you're multiplanetary, human beings will survive. That's his side of the story. मेरा साइड है कि भाई अगर अर्थ पे आ रहा है तो वो एस्ट्रॉइड मार्स पे भी आ सकता है और पूरा मिल्की वे खत्म हो सकता है, तो क्या करेगा? मिल्की वे पे बाहर जाके भी बच्चे डालेगा नहीं ना? तो आई डोंट नो, वी कैन चैलेंज हिम ऑन दैट.
But
That's stupid, I feel.
how close is he to getting us to Mars? Is it going to happen in our lifetime?
Yeah, will happen. So what we read, okay, he is going to put people on Mars by 26 or by 27.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So he is very close to what we read about it. How will he make this happen? How will he get oxygen over there? How will he do that? I don't know. He has never spilled the beans on that. But he
Huh.
is very sure that by 26 or 27, you are going to have people traveling to Mars to and fro. You're going to have people traveling. Moon to already wo kar raha hai. He has in 8 to 10 months, he's going to have people who are landing on the moon and coming back. That's what he says. Okay, why did NASA stop post 68? If that is true, he himself is questioning what NASA did. What other people are saying, कि वो चूतिया बना रहा था नील आर्मस्ट्रांग वाला. That's what Elon's story is also. Yeah, वो बोल रहा है उल्लू बना रहा है.
Okay, so I'll tell you why even I have my doubts about that. Firstly, there's a comment from Saurabh. It says he's anti-idiocracy, which is that he does not like low intelligence people in power. But so
Yeah,
are
might
we
be.
all.
Yeah, so
Huh.
we all are, and I don't know. Let's not get political here. कल अपन साले गले हो जाएंगे. We have
We're
a
not
business
getting.
to run. Comments.
No. Okay, no. So there is that they're called the Van. Just one second. The Van Heusen. No, not Van Heusen. The Van Allen radio belts. Just ah. There are radiation belts which extend outside the Earth called the Van Allen radiation belts, and apparently they are powerful radiation. Like maybe we can send spaceships which are unmanned through that, but there's a big doubt on how we send human beings through that. We are very.
Absolutely.
I don't know whether we managed to do it or what we have been shown. Uh, but then I come across as a conspiracy theorist then, so I don't want to make that
We
comment.
don't. Yeah, let's not spoil it for them.
Yeah.
लेके जाए तो ठीक, नहीं लेके जाए तो भारत देश महान है. हम भेजेंगे ना.
Yeah, we we will send. Okay. Now, what else on the book did it really struck you? Like any other incidents?
So, see, there are so many incidents there which we don't know. Like before, like what people know about Elon. Like you said, such a beautiful name. Twitter, he changed to X. He has his own theory. Okay, what he says is, I bought this company. So, if you read about X when he started, like when he merged with PayPal, his idea was very similar to what Twitter. His idea was, I want people to be able to transact, to be able to communicate, to be able to. There should not be any currency. That was his thesis of X,
Okay.
that you should be able to transact and send money, receive money. तो हम भले यूपीआई का इतना भी छाती ठोक रहे इधर. If you read his context of X when he started up X and which he eventually merged with PayPal, he wanted to call it X PayPal, but they said ये चुतिया ऐसा नाम है, we don't want X. सो वो उसको ग्रज था, तो उसने ट्विटर को एक्स बनाया, क्योंकि उसका थॉट प्रोसेस था, anybody comes speaks, so I'm speaking with somebody on Twitter or on X and I want to help that person, I should be able to immediately send what you need help, send money, send documents, send document, send guidance, send videos. That is what his story was when he formed X, say 10, 15, 20 years back. Okay. Which did not happen because he feels not regulatory hurdles. He was thrown out of PayPal, so he couldn't do that. And PayPal then just resided as a company to send money outside the country. That's the
Okay.
core competence of PayPal today, right? So his vision was what we are touting about UPI today. If you read X, that's what he wanted to do. Send money instantly on any platform, right? आज अगर आप देखो तो वो क्या करने जा रहा है, दैट्स व्हाट इज गोइंग टू डू विद एक्स. देखो उसने यूट्यूब को मारने का ऑलरेडी स्ट्रेटेजी बना दिया. ही इज ऑलरेडी लाइव देयर, ही इज रनिंग स्पेसेस, करेक्ट. वो आपको जर्नलिज्म के लिए भी गाइड कर रहा है, आप वीडियो भी डाल सकते हो, आप चैट भी कर सकते हो, आप अभी लंबा मैसेज भी भेज सकते हो, राइट. ऑल ऑफ दैट इज डूइंग. सो हिज story is, I am making X alive, which I could not do 20 years back, by you being able to do whatever you want to do today, be it talking, sending money, sending greetings. You don't need to mail, you just tweet, you do a DM, you send a video, you broadcast to people, you get incoming videos, you see, and you even send money and transact globally. So X he wants, so he renamed Twitter as X because that's the vision he's bringing back. What he wanted to do staying in PayPal. That's his
Huh,
story.
But X is also like the worldwide porn
So
site.
that's what, yeah. So if you read the biography, yes. तो इसको एक्स पेपैल या जब मर्जर हुआ उसको एक्स नाम इसीलिए नहीं देने गए बिकॉज ही सेड व्हेन यू रीड एक्स यू फील इट्स पॉर्न.
It
So
is.
his story was, he says, this alphabet attracts me from the beginning because it's like I have the ultimate power. I am X, like ultimate. Like there's no border to X. That is his story. That is his
Okay.
thinking. And that's how he's transpired. So if you see, उसके बच्चे का नाम भी उसने X रखा है. Okay. उसका कंपनी भी X था और उसको the zip story was वो कंपनी को भी he wanted to make it zip X or X zip. So he is somehow enamored to the word X. Jaisa, these Google guys have this alphabet where they say X, Y, Z, right? They have named the company Alphabet and now that owns Google. इसका ऐसा पहले से स्टोरी था जो होगा X से होगा X is what I want. Eventually that's what is coming together. So his story is X तो होना ही था. मेरे को X बनाना है, मैंने take over किया तो मैं तो X बनाऊंगा.
But
That's his
he
side of the
has
story.
massive loans to pay back. I mean, the money that he spent, $44 billion, has been bankrolled by banks, which I
Don't worry,
believe getting
Adani also has massive to pay, right? तो वो तो चलेगा भाई.
in the same zone of $44 billion.
No, not in the same zone. Of course, not in the same zone. One fourth or even less than that. But see, that's what makes Elon, right? He
But
can get a.
$44 billion to buy us, how is it ever going to pay
But
you back
okay,
that?
okay, but you see his valuation today. Elon on his own is the richest guy. He's a 240 billion brand today, right? So if you see his today's net worth, just Elon, we're not talking about selling or assets or liabilities. He's a $240 billion guy. So if I was a $240 billion guy and if I had 40 billion to be paid, I am happy. Okay, हो जाएगा, right? And see, if you look at his cash flow, if you study Twitter today, he is going to turn at least cash flow positive in the next couple of quarters, right?
I don't know because I just read an article today which
Yeah.
said that the banks are getting very antsy and it might come down to auctioning X off.
I don't think so. I don't buy that. No, he's a big
Okay.
brand. Yeah, people like us are paying him $8 a month, right? So there are millions of such who are paying it. Bankrupt तो नहीं होगा. His cash flows are good. He is a very big brand recall now. So मतलब I don't think such a big guy will go bankrupt. And he's a very smart ass. He's a very smart guy, very smart with finances and very chindi in that way. So he will get a bang for the buck. And if you read the book, you will understand he is not a spendthrift. उसके पास आज घर भी नहीं है खुद का. वो ऐसे पैसे खुद पे नहीं उड़ाता है.
He doesn't
और
have a house.
he doesn't have a house. He stays on
Then
rent. He stays in a rented house. Yeah.
why?
That's how he is. He says, I don't have a wife now. I don't have like so many people to stay with. Stay. Right? First, he had a story. So if you read in the biography, well, like you said, he's bipolar. पहले सोचता था you can't go to bed without a partner next to you. Now he says, I'm very happy I don't have a partner next to me, so I can think, spend time, and I have these 8 companies, including Neuralink, where I can think and put my mind together. I get 5 hours of sleep, 6 hours of sleep, and I get zoned out. So he says that how do I spend time? I spend time with my kids, with my friends, and I party and play games. And that's what he's doing from last 3 nights. If you follow him, he's running games live on the X platform by saying you can broadcast games now. So gamers are now suddenly pulling on this platform. So पैसे बना लेगा, बहुत smart है, पैसे बना लेगा.
Okay.
Smart ass. Smart
What
ass.
other has he spoken about any of his wives or any relationship stuff
So,
on in this book?
so the biographist has spoken and he's very smart. He's went and met those couples, wives, exes, and given their side of the stories.
Okay,
Also,
tell me.
Elon has not always agreed. Okay, he's sat on the fence. वो बुरा भी नहीं बना है, वो अच्छा भी नहीं बना है. So he's not blaming the partner, but he's also saying they were also wrong and I was also wrong. So we both were wrong. So we are out.
Okay.
Right? So he has nicely covered up that. I think he is a very sheepish guy in that way. वो blame ले भी नहीं रहा है, दे भी नहीं रहा है. He said what they did at that point of time was right, and what I did at that point in time was also right.
Any specifics that you can give us? Any थोड़ा सा gossip value?
So gossip उतना किया भी नहीं है और what Isaacson is also very smart. He's not rubbing him the wrong way. उसको डर था साला last दिन बोलेगा बैंचो don't publish this तो फट जाएगा उसकी market valuation का. I feel. So he has also sat on the fence, but like his dad, forget the wives and all. His dad has given a very different story. Okay, his dad says when he went to the US to study, he was not getting like he had no money. He suddenly decided I want to go to the US and study because that's where the valley is, and that's why he was enamored by Silicon Valley by reading about these things and all. And he said, I'll go on a student visa and all. He had no money. He had no application to take there, and eventually lost all his certificates. That's his side of the story. What his dad says is very different. His dad says, I did his setting, I allowed him to go, I gave him money. Yeah. His his family bonding now with his brother, sister, and mother is still very strong. So he says that. So his first startup, Zip, what he found, it was his brother Kimball was also a founder there. He had this idea after reading a lot of things, and his mom gave him the first $10,000 after. So his mom was also a model, part-time
Yeah, I
supermodel.
believe so. Huh.
हाँ, सो उसने $10,000 लेंड किए, तो वो थोड़ा फैमिली बॉन्डिंग भी है कि पहला पैसा तो घर से ही आया, और उसका बाप बोल रहा है मैंने भी दिया है, जिसमें ये बोल रहा है चुतिया काट रहा है उसने कुछ नहीं दिया है. तो against it, so he's been dead against his dad in the story, in the book. And his dad says he went there because of me, I did the setting, I helped him go US, and he says totally bullshit. He said he was totally against this, and he didn't come to the family dinner also before I left, and how I somehow left, I lost my luggage and all my certificates, and somehow I had to prove so many things, and I only thing left with me was with my luggage with books. So that story he has, that why I am what I am today. Like, I have read all encyclopedias, not because I like doing it, I had no other thing to do. I went to a cousin who threw me out. I went to a known friend who initially stayed with me, but then he said I have no money, and we stayed on the streets. And eventually, then some cousin, he had this phone number, and because of mom's presence or influence, he called him and he stayed there. So he said I had nothing else to do. When my cousin first, like, his I believe his sister landed up in the US, they used to go partying. This guy was
This
very
is
much
his real sister, not
real
his
sister, real
stepsister.
sister. Yeah, yeah, real
Huh.
sister.
Because the stepsister went and married his dad.
Yeah, and what
Huh.
Elon says is he was against that because his dad didn't have right intentions against, like, with his sister, which he has come very hard in this book. Okay, and he said I confronted my dad saying what you're doing is bullshit, and then he was a rich guy till then. He had sold, I believe that's post PayPal. So he says his dad also had 8 stepchildren and all. मतलब ये बहुत populous family है, बहुत active है in the wrong way. So he got housing for all of them away from his dad, and he eventually shunted his dad back to South Africa. He gave him like a yacht to go because he was very rich, and he came. So all the stepchildren of his first dad, eventually he paid for his brothers or sisters, and they stayed. They were younger to way younger, so 6 year old, and he was 30-year old that way. But he paid for their educational. That's what he's. The biographies also confirmed that in the book, and
Okay.
he has met all those kids and spoken to them, and he's validated that yes, this is the truth. But they don't come out very vocally. Maybe Elon doesn't like that. Maybe that don't make me God. I feel that from reading that. But he's paid for all of that, and he shunted his dad out, and yeah, मतलब बहुत सारा खिचड़ी है. तो rather than his wife or personal relationship, he has come very hard on his dad in the book, that I am bad today because of your brutal upbringing or beating us. And he says he has done every bad thing what a father can do with a child, to me and my elder brother. And he says I can't even mention that about in the book. But the dad is a different. He paints a rosy picture. He says Elon is what he is because he has my name. I am Erol. He's Elon, or usne aisa story दिया है.
Okay.
So biography says I don't know who's right.
Okay. We have a question here from R Tam. He desperately wants a user to pay. Why is that? So much for free speech. Okay, now this is a point. When he took over Twitter, he put out the bird is now free karke.
Yeah,
Okay, it's all
yeah,
free speech. And then now you're gonna pamper people who pay you because I have a problem with this. I know when the algorithm squeezes my views so badly that I get like what 15 likes on a tweet. Okay. It's not fair.
agreed. I buy this. But now see his side of the story. He took over a company which was bleeding. Okay, he
Hmm.
had big debts. He was screwed up royally. Okay, and he knows to make this profitable, he can't advertise because advertisers are already there. Like, what new will
Yeah.
he do to bring advertisers on board, right? So he flips the model. He says, "Fuck those guys. I don't want the advertisers. I have a big fan following already, right? Let them pay a little bit, so at least I can get my house in order." He fires the guys whom he doesn't need. So he fires marketing. He fires the so-called cloud guys or smart guys sitting and monitoring graph, which he doesn't need to do. He flips the business model. He starts paying creators. So people like me, I don't know you, but people like me who've never made money from anything. To be making money. I'm not making big money that I can
But one
start
second,
shopping.
what is this like? He's paying you all for what? If you can give me an idea,
So
like
I'll tell
how
you,
is it
the
on?
gist
Huh.
is very upfront. I'm not making too much because I don't have that many views, like you said. But people who have lot of views, okay. So his algorithm is for the past 90 days. If you have more than 5 million views, okay, to either the tweets you tweet, so your creation or somebody else creation, but you tag along there. So like if Kajal tweets today, Elon Musk is a chutia, and I say no, he's not a chutia. Okay, then we both start getting views. You
Huh.
have original content, I have original content. Okay,
Okay.
so if our views cross of this one tweet or multiple tweets, what I do, or I tag along to a tweet and I give my opinions, it crosses 5 million, okay,
Five
over
million is a
90 days.
lot.
Is a
It's a
lot. No,
lot.
but
Huh.
people like me are able to cross 3-4 million. So it's not a lot here. I have no fan following that way. Nobody knows me. Either पूछो YouTube पे, do you know Akshay Shah? Nobody knows me. Okay. So it's
You
not that, no, it's not that lot. If your content has either value or it is something which people want to hear. Okay.
okay?
So if people want to hear today, Elon spoke to me. People want to hear that, right? अरे इंडियन के साथ एलॉन मस्क ने बात किया, इसका छाती अपना छूतिया इंडियन ऐसा नहीं, उसमें खुश होकर सो जाएगा, उसका नौकरी चला गया है कल। अरे बट एलोन के साथ इंडियन ने बात की, दिस इज हाउ इंडियंस आर, राइट? तो बड़ा
Yeah.
चीज है, तो
Hmm.
तुम्हारा व्यूज बढ़ जाएगा एंड यू विल स्टार्ट मोनेटाइजिंग देयर।
So
बट
what is the monetization? 5 million views का कितना मिलता है?
सो इट्स नॉट लाइक 5 मिलियन व्यूज। अब 5 मिलियन व्यूज पे उसका कितना एडवर्टाइजिंग चला। सो
Okay.
अगर इफ आई ट्वीट सेइंग आई लाइक टू गो टू केदारनाथ, ओके, और केदारनाथ का कोई एडवर्टाइजर, मतलब से पेटीएम ने ऐड चलाया है कि गो टू केदारनाथ एंड यू गेट 2 नाइट्स फ्री। अब
हाँ.
उसका ऐड 10 बार चला, पेटीएम पेड टू ट्विटर से $100 फॉर दिस, ओके।
Okay.
ही विल गिव $80 टू एवरीबडी जिसके ट्वीट पे ऐड चला, वो $20 ही रखेगा। तो $80 कैन गेट स्प्लिट बिटवीन 10 of us। हमारे
Okay.
ट्वीट पे उसका ऐड चला क्योंकि रियल कंटेंट था। हमको नहीं पता है ना वो किस पे पैसे बना रहा है, बहुत जेन्युइन वे है ये, रियल कंटेंट था। हमने केदारनाथ के बारे में बोला, पेटीएम ने केदारनाथ का ऐड चला, उसने $100 दिया, $80 वो हम क्रिएटर में बांट देगा। अब अगर 10 क्रिएटर है तो हमको $10-10, 8 क्रिएटर है, $10-10 मिलेगा, 10 क्रिएटर है तो $8-8 मिलेगा, सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ। एक ही
Okay.
क्रिएटर है तो उसको $80 दे देगा, वो $20 रखेगा ट्विटर से। तो
How much have you made?
नथिंग, मतलब
No, I wanted you to say that. I wanted you to say that.
$100,
How?
$200, not big, not big. But if I start really, so if I make this as a profession, I stop doing what I do in iWebTechno Gen Z, I can tell you I can run my house and I can be really successful because I have cracked the Da Vinci code. देखो इसमें ना तुम retweet मार के या किसी का content, so the algorithm is so smart. If you tweet something, I copy this and I try increasing my views. Even if my views increase, I won't get paid for that bullshit because it's
Really?
a copy. या
Okay.
और मैंने ट्राई भी करा है क्योंकि ये साले सबको इतना व्यूज आके बेंचो पैसा मिलता है। मैंने बोला चल थोड़ा वर्ड चेंज कर देते हैं, नहीं आता है व्यूज, 200 के ऊपर नहीं जाता है, तो वो
Okay.
बकचोदी नहीं चलता है। इट हैज टू बी, मतलब कुछ तो है। आई एम नॉट सेइंग पूरा नहीं कॉपी हो सकता है, मतलब इतना तो स्मार्ट एल्गोरिथम नहीं होगा, थोड़ा आगे पीछे कर दिया तो चलेगा, बट यू हैव टू स्पेंड सम टाइम डूइंग दैट, अंडरस्टैंडिंग दैट। एंड ट्रस्ट मी, मेरे को लाइफ में कभी भी इतने सालों से मैं बकचोदी कर रहा हूँ, पैसे नहीं मिले। सो एंड द बेस्ट पार्ट इज फॉलोअर्स, he doesn't pay you on your followers, it's not Insta. For qualifying to get paid, your followers should be just more than 500,
Okay.
just more than 500 followers, 5 million views of course for 90 days to the content, but and paid $8 तो देना पड़ेगा ना, ऐसा थोड़ी वो मुफ्त में तुमको पैसा $100 देगा, $8 तो लेगा, तो that's justified। but only 500 followers, so he's not saying you need millions of followers to do that। even you, me or anybody can genuinely trying to create content can qualify, और इसमें चूतियां नहीं काट सकोगे, जेन्युइन बनाना पड़ेगा या थोड़ा स्मार्ट रहना पड़ेगा टू मेक मनी हियर।
But that also means that hate speech will get likes and it will get views. So
या
then
बट
you're
हेट
also
स्पीच,
monetizing hate speech.
अग्रीड। सो बकचोदी को भी पैसा मिलता है, हेट स्पीच को भी मिल रहा है, बट दे आर वेरी स्मार्ट, लाइक यू सेड, व्यूज बहुत घट जाते हैं। तो इफ आई स्टार्ट अब्यूजिंग समबडी हियर, ओके, व्हिच आई डिड, आई कैन गो ऑन रिकॉर्ड एंड टेल, मैंने मांजरेकर को, अपना जो कमेंटेटर है, उसको बहुत अब्यूज किया था क्योंकि उसको सूर्य कुमार और रोहित शर्मा नहीं पसंद है। अभी अभी रोहित शर्मा पसंद होने लगा, सूर्या के अगेंस्ट है वो बंदा। तो मैंने बोला भाई तेरे को इससे क्या प्रॉब्लम है, तो चूतिया बनाता है लोगों, मैंने ऐसा लिख दिया। मैंने लिखा in spite of me being paid, I got banned from Twitter for a week. Okay? Yeah, immediately next day. Okay? तो मेरे को when I started getting followers because मेरे जैसे बहुत लोग हैं जिसको मांजरे करनी पसंद है. जडेजा के फैन फॉलोअर्स मिलियन, मेरे को लगा अभी मिलियन भी हो गया भाई, अपने को पैसा मिलेगा. I got banned. तो हेट
Okay.
स्पीच मेरा एग्जाम्पल ही बोल दो. 1 वीक आई वाज ऑन ट्विटर. अब मैं रिस्क लाइफ में कभी नहीं लूंगा किसी को बोलने का, क्योंकि भाई ये तो चला जाएगा. तो देयर इज सम engine, people can circumvent that. Of course, our guys are smarter than what his algorithms are, but I still feel genuine content creators make money everywhere. I'm not saying it's only in Twitter, but it's a real new way to make money now. What's wrong? Matlab, if I and you can
Okay.
also make money by
Let
pushing views,
Let's
I
take
think
this
it's not.
question. If he's paying for Bakchodi, you can imagine the mess he's creating. He's unsuspended a user after posting CP, saying only admin saw it.
सीपी क्या है भाई? ये
Please
जेंजी होगा
explain.
कोई भाई, ये लिंगो नहीं समझता है हमको.
हाँ, थोड़ा सा we didn't understand that part. अच्छा,
थोड़ा भाई
now,
क्लैरिफाई करो, मैं तो बुड्ढा हूँ, काजल तो भाई एवरग्रीन. Girls never get old.
of course not.
Yeah.
Acha, so now tell me, what is your main takeaways from this book? Like, does he have any future plans? What has really impressed you?
So, one very interesting thing what he said in this book is, one is the pessimist optimist thing. He said, "Na, I'd rather be an optimist and wrong than pessimist and be right." So, follow your gut, okay? Like, and one more thing he has said, he's mentioned that see the attitude what he comes to and speaks to, you feel what Elon is saying is from heaven. That's it. There's an angel talking to you. तो इसमें से सबसे बड़ा रीडिंग वो है ना कि इफ यू आर कन्विंस अबाउट सम शिट ना, just go out and execute it. That's what
Okay.
I can read from Elon's life. ट्रस्ट में 20 साल पहले एलॉन को भी नहीं लगा होगा उसके पास ऐसा 4 कंपनियों का, एक जो न्यूरोलिंक दिमाग के लिए सोच रहा है, एक जो बोरिंग कंपनी जो अंडरग्राउंड बना रहा है, एक जो टेस्ला जो गाड़ी विदाउट ड्राइवर्स चला रहा है, और एक मल्टी प्लैनेटरी स्पीशीज बनाने वाला है. इफ यू आस्क समबडी एनी इन टेक, this is what we want, right? Like it's you can't
Yeah.
fathom to run such a company, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the biggest thing comes out of it is, which he says also, it's possible for ordinary people to be choose to be extraordinary, right? If you have the will in it now, you can do it. This is the biggest thing what comes out from him, and he's given examples there. The moment he thought, I'm finished, but I have that vision and power, things fall in place. He's written when his third or fourth missile flopped, he was finished, right? He was living on borrowings, and he was, of course, very depressed. He got a $3 or $4 million order from NASA because they said, we believe we can do something together, right? वो आप वाला story था, reusable rockets and launch pads and all. This is what NASA bought into, that we need to do this, right?
Yeah.
So, and one more thing he keeps on saying, failure is not an option. He
Okay.
said, if things are not failing, you are not innovating enough. So he gets proud about his failures. One more thing is mentioned, and that even his brother, sister, mother, everybody has said, even Peter Thiel, who was his first co-founder, has said is, Elon believes living in chaos.
Mm-hmm.
If there is no chaos, and he also says, he said, I will not get sleep if I don't know there's a storm coming tomorrow. So Elon is chaos. He likes
Okay.
bullshit. He invites trouble to the extent where you're going to be killed tomorrow, or like you're going to be finished tomorrow.
Okay.
That's what gives him a kick. तो my biggest reading is कि ऐसे चूतिए लोग भी इतने बड़े बन सकते हैं, तो हम तो कुछ नहीं है, we can try, like मतलब huh, that's what he keeps on saying. If you're not inviting trouble, he can't sleep. He won't be happy. He won't be in that zone. He'll go in that zone only when, like he says, na, persistence is very important unless you are forced to give up. मतलब वो लेवल पे जीता है कि बस भाई अभी तो मर ही जाना है, या मैं मर ही जाऊंगा. That's super positive. Matlab, I don't think maybe our industrialists or others don't speak so much. They also might be living in that zone. I am sure Adani ab jaise zidda hai. Matlab, I don't know how. Correct. So, matlab, it's so much trouble, right? Come on, like you are taking everybody by storm, right? It's not
Yeah.
easy. So our guys also do. Maybe they are not this vocal. This guy is vocal, but yeah, he's like doing in the open world and too big. So biggest takeaway is you can live your stupidest dream, okay, even if you don't have a penny in your pocket. If he can
You
do,
believe
anybody
that?
can.
You believe
I
that
believe.
completely?
I
Okay.
strongly believe that. I'm alive on that. That gives me the kick. I have to take a metro and go back now. I don't have a car standing now, but that gives me the kick. Bancho, we can do this. If we can do, we can do. That's
Okay.
my biggest takeaway from this book or from his earlier biography too. Mad guy,
Okay.
mad guy.
Anything negative that you feel about Elon?
Too much, yeah. He's full of negativity, so arrogant, bastard bipolar. Today he'll say you're good, tomorrow he'll say you're fired. That's what happens. See, if you see his co-founder who gave him all the mantra how to build missiles, when the third missile flopped, so ये भी लिखा है, ये बड़ा साला Jewish type का बंदा है. Sorry to be religion centric here. He earmarks everybody. Okay, so boiler, this guy is doing. Okay, engine, this guy is doing. लिख के उसके माइंड में, जब फेल होगा ना बोले अरे तू तेरे वजह से हुआ है. He's not a team man that way. So he says in the when the third missile flopped, Falcon 3, okay, and वो एक minuscule छोटे मिस्टेक की वजह से फ्लॉप हुआ, अदरवाइज दैट वाज अ हिट, राइट. सो ही गॉट द मसल दैट फोर्थ तो चल ही जाएगा, अभी इतना कम मिस्टेक हुआ है. तो जो को फाउंडर था, फॉरगॉट हिज नेम यार, ये सब नेम इतने कॉम्प्लेक्स होते याद नहीं रहते
हाँ.
अपने को. अपने तो अपने राजू मार्मू भी याद नहीं रहते, वो कहां से याद रहेंगे. तो सी टेक्निकली जिस गाय के हिसाब से वो हिल रिजाइन, राइट, दैट्स हाउ इट इज, राइट. तो उसके गले तक ये था कि ये गांडू रिजाइन होना चाहिए, बट वो नहीं बोल रहा है. एंड पीपल नो हिज एटीट्यूड ना, वो ईयर मार्क करेगा. तो एंड में वो पार्टी में सब सब नाराज है. सो ही सेज पीपल गो टू द बार एंड खुशी में नहीं तो दुख में, दारू तो पीना है. एवरीबॉडी सिपिंग बियर और व्हाटएवर. ही इज आल्सो ड्रंक, एवरीबॉडी इज ड्रंक. एंड उसका इधर तक है कि भाई किसी को तो बकरा बनाना है ना इसमें. So he starts by saying, if we fail as a team, but if boiler fails, so if that guy says, you tell him na, you want me to resign. He said, what the fuck, did I tell you to resign? I didn't tell you to resign. मतलब वो साला ऐसा बंदा है ना जिसको बोलना है दूसरे से बलवाएगा, उस
हाँ.
आदमी से बुलवाएगा, I want to resign. But he said, I never told you to resign. Now it's your choice. You want to resign, you resign. I am still good. So this is what I don't like. मतलब, see, if I
I
want to
get
tell
it.
something, I'll be very open and tell, fuck off, get lost, right? I don't want you to continue to do whatever reason. I am wrong, you are wrong, we are off. ये वो नहीं करता है. He will bring you to the level where you will be coaxed to say, I can't work and I'll go. And I believe Steve Jobs was also like that. Isaacson का आप Steve Jobs वाला भी biography पढ़ोगे, उसने यही बोला है कि even Steve had this uncanny habit of making you do what he wants you to do. Okay, when you don't want to do, you go out and think you are stupid. That's what he wants you to do, and then he's the hero. I said, I never told him this. I hate him. If this is true, and I think this is true, even Elon has agreed in the book to that yes, this is how I am. But then is a story ना, मेरा बुरा चाइल्डहुड था, मेरे को रोज मार मिला, तो मेरे में एम्पैथी नहीं है. तो वो उसका स्टोरी है. That's his defense. तो मैं ऐसा
Okay.
चूतिया हूँ. I don't know right or wrong, but I don't like about this. मतलब, if you are this true, if you are building in public, accept it. I want you out and say I want you out. So if you read stories of people who are thrown out of Twitter also, वो ऐसे flimsy reasons की वजह से ही गए ना. उसने बोला I don't like this office, who created, ये color ठीक नहीं है, resign. That's stupid, right? You want to cut cost. तुम बोला कि अच्छे से बोल सकते हो, भाई मेरा फटा पड़ा है, मैंने $40 बिलियन दिए, मेरी फट गई है, मैं नहीं चुका सकूंगा, प्लीज छोड़ दो, तुमको तो नौकरी मिल जाएगा, मेरी फट गई. बोल सकता था ना, लोग जाते थे अच्छे से.
But he's not
हमारे
empathetic.
निकालने का क्या जरूरत था. उसने इंसल्ट कर करके लोगों को निकाला, तुम्हारी जरूरत नहीं है, और ये बुलशिट है. और वो सीईओ को भी, दैट इंडियन गाय अग्रवाल और वो पराग,
Yeah.
he threw him very unceremoniously. He could have done it much better, I feel. Okay, even the co-founder of Twitter, what's his name, नाम भूल जाते सबके यार.
Jack.
Jack, right?
Jack
He
Dorsey.
also was that. He said you could have done this much better. Although he was supporting, and Elon shyly, I think sheepishly called him back also. Can you come in? जब उसको मालूम था फट गया भाई, ये manage नहीं होगा. Can you come back? Which he said, no boss, we can't work together. I can't come back to that. He could have done this much better, right? ठीक है, Parag had his own compulsion. There was a board, there was a way to run things, right? He had his own compulsion. Maybe he didn't want to do this. He could have said, यार मेरा फट गया है, अब नहीं हो सकता है, अब मैं बॉस हूँ, जा तू, वो जाएगा और अच्छा करेगा ना बाहर. He could have done this much better. You don't need to, humiliate. हाँ, Dorsey.
Okay.
डॉर्सू नहीं, डॉर्सी है ना, सू थोड़ी है भाई.
अच्छा, wait. There's a question. Last question I'm gonna take.
दो चार ही लिए हमने, हमको ज्यादा नहीं मिला.
Okay, no, the people are warming up now. They've come in late. Okay, so
Yeah.
he wants to know about Elon's political views. Elon is very right wing. That is
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
no denying.
Yes.
And he disowned his daughter for her gender. Is this mentioned in the book?
Not much. They have covered this up big time, and यार वो इतना डीप था कि मैंने भी थोड़ा छोड़ दिया. See, when you फैन फॉलो somebody ना, फिर उसका बुक जब पढ़ोगे ना और उसका बहुत नेगेटिविटी आएगा, आप स्विच ऑफ हो जाओ, वो नेचुरल है.
See,
So
It's like Schindler's List, okay?
absolutely,
Schindler helped so many Jews out of Germany, but he
precisely,
was not a saint by any which means.
absolutely,
So you have
absolutely.
to shut off. You have to look at. Yeah, I get you,
You
and
got
people
me.
are
So
problematic.
yeah, and see, he has not admitted, but I think Isaacson has done a good job that way to show even the negative side of him. इतना तो guts साला किसी में नहीं होगा. ट्रस्ट मी, हाँ मतलब उसने बिंदास खोल डाला है. उसने क्या किया ना, इलॉन ये बोल रहा है, ये बंदा ये बोल रहा है, अब यू डिसाइड व्हाट इज राइट और रॉन्ग. उसने ऐसा रख
Okay,
दिया है सामने. या दोनों साइड ऑफ स्टोरी बहुत क्लियरली हैज ब्रॉट. अब इलॉन अग्रीड टू दिस, हाउ ही अग्रीड आई डोंट नो. मे बी उसको भी पैसे बनाने थोड़े ना भाई, उसको 40 बिलियन चुकाने. How he agreed, I don't know, but there he has done justice. He has brought both sides on the table and he has left you to decide what's right or wrong. वो उसने करा है. Every topic, every people, every guy, girlfriend, friends, co-founders, father, mother, he's brought everybody on the table. That he has done. That
okay,
he has done justice there.
okay. So, guys, we come to the end of the podcast. The book is available on Amazon, I think, and it is pretty expensive. I mean, it is reasonably expensive.
Now it has come down. Yeah, come on. When I bought it 1200 था, अब 600 पे आ गया. People can,
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
Cheso's not bad. Cheso's not. I didn't
हाँ
know that.
या 600 पे आ गया. किंडल एडिशन इज 550 650 यार. तुम स्टारबक्स में इतना उड़ा देते हो. कम ऑन, यू कैन सी. प्रॉब्लम इज नॉट स्पेंडिंग. इतना बड़ा बुक है, 92 ब्लडी चैप्टर्स. अपने इंजीनियर 92 3 सेमेस्टर में नहीं पढ़ते हैं. करेक्ट. वो तो लास्ट 10 साल के पेपर रट के नीट देते हैं और आईआईटी आईएम जाते हैं ना. हमारे बच्चे तो ऐसे बड़ा होते कोटा में रट्टा मार के. तो दिक्कत वो है कि ये 92 चैप्टर्स लोग पढ़ेंगे नहीं. बट इफ यू रीड, like if even if you're not an avid reader, just read for the heck of it. You will understand what goes behind creating of such guys. Good or bad, you are free to decide. But 92 chapters is a thing in itself. Even if you read
Yeah,
one book in your lifetime, if you have to read one book, read this book. That will be my honest opinion. एक book पढ़ना ये
fair
पढ़ लो.
point. Fair point. Thank you so much, Akshay. And we will
Yeah.
definitely let's have another chat soon on Indian entrepreneurs, which I think
Oh.
you.
Ready, bhai. Tell me when.
Well, we'll do it soon. We'll do it next week,
Cool,
hopefully.
cool,
Let's see.
cool, cool.
Let's see. Guys,
Thanks.
I'm going to put Akshay's details into the chat later. Please contact him. He's a very, very fun guy.
करो
And
भाई, करो. थोड़ा हमको भी पैसा मिलेगा ट्विटर पे. थोड़ा करो. थोड़ा जो 50-100 निकले खर्चा. मेट्रो का भाड़ा तो निकल जाए. करो भाई, करो.
Chal. Good
Good guys.
night.
Thanks, yeah. Thank you. Thanks for this opportunity. Pleasure. Bye.
Great having you. Chal. Bye.